that their A1C might come down, and so forth.
Not might. It's almost certain that it will. Because if you eat a low carbohydrate diet, you're not going to have a whole bunch of sugar pooling in your blood. Whereas gluconeogenesis only makes sugar in the amount that it's needed. It doesn't overdo it. Simple.
The problem, well, there are many problems, but
there are no problems with a ketogenic diet, which is remotely sensibly put together and followed, Neil.
My standpoint, the biggest problems that we are left with is that the foods that remain in the diet are meats, gravy, foods that tend to cause cholesterol to rise.
So what? Cholesterol does not cause any form of negative health outcome. If anything, having insufficient cholesterol appears to be a problem, at least associatively. If you look at, this chart here, which is 168 countries, hundreds and hundreds of millions of data points informing this chart here, that says, if you look at it here, Neil, quite clearly in terms of the association here, the lower you drop your total cholesterol below 220 milligrams per deciliter, the more mortality that is associated with that. All causes and also every sub-cause that is of note, or noteworthy, I should say. They all follow the same trend. A sudden precipitous increase in mortality, age-adjusted, associated with lowering your total cholesterol. Sorry, son. We're done here. What's next?
And the reason that's such a problem is that what's going to kill a person with diabetes?
I'll tell you what's going to kill a person with diabetes. It's going to be a chronic systemic inflammation mediated disease process. Example, cardiovascular disease. Many forms of cancer, most forms of dementia. The big killers. Okay. Why is someone with the Randall cycle activated chronically going to have a problem with chronic systemic inflammation, Neil? Very, very simple. If the Randall cycle is activated for long periods of time such that it becomes basically chronic, the fat locks out the sugar, and the sugar locks out the fat, ergo the cells actually are starving to death because neither can get in. That means the redox potential of those cells will drop, which means that the concentration of ATP will drop slightly and the concentrations of ADP and inorganic phosphate will increase slightly. And what happens when you subject all the pro-inflammatory cytokines to free inorganic phosphate, Neil? Oh, that's right. The phosphate binds to those pro-inflammatory cytokines and causes a gross systemic inflammation. And it is that which causally underpins atherosclerosis, heart disease, many forms of cancer, most forms of dementia, etc., etc., etc. Cholesterol does not cause heart disease. Chronic systemic inflammation causes heart disease, Neil. One of us is a professor in cardiovascular pathophysiology, Neil, and one of us is not. So when I tell you that cholesterol does not cause heart disease, you can put that in the bank, son. All right? What's next?
In most cases, is vascular disease.
Right, so vascular disease, as I said, is underpinned by chronic systemic inflammation, not by cholesterol.
Their blood vessels are being attacked, their heart is being attacked, the tiny blood vessels to their eyes or the tiny blood vessels in their kidneys are being attacked by
by chronic systemic inflammation.
This disease. So you don't want to raise cholesterol levels.
Should we look at that chart again, Neil? That completely destroys your ridiculous vacuous argument there. Let's look at it again. It's pretty clear, isn't it? Buff head.
You don't want cholesterol in your diet at all.
Nonsense. Can you live without cholesterol in your diet? Sure. It just means that your body will be forced to synthesize more cholesterol than it otherwise would. Actually, 80% of the cholesterol in your body at any given time was actually manufactured by your body from non-cholesterol precursors, Neil. pretty simple, really, I would have thought.
And there have been a couple of recent studies, fairly large studies, where
Cite them. What studies, Neil?
we've seen increases in bad cholesterol on the order of
Bad cholesterol, you say, Neil. Okay. Bad cholesterol does not exist. There is only one form of cholesterol. Look it up in a textbook, Neil. It is cholesterol. Doesn't come in good and bad forms. Do you not even understand that? This is a bloke who supposedly is a medical professional. And he doesn't even understand that there is only one form of cholesterol. And it's not bad. It's vital for life. It makes up 50%, for example, by weight and by volume of every single one of the cell membranes and every single one of the several trillion cells in your body. It's also, it might interest you to know, Neil, the basis for testosterone. Just quietly. I could talk about vitamin D and all sorts of other things all day as well. But basically, you can just go and have a look at my fine science-based channel, actually, Neil, and you'll see that there are more than 40 videos put together there by myself, a well-published senior academic in the field of cardiovascular pathophysiology, and you'll see all about it there, won't you? But I doubt you'll go there because you just want to keep espousing the same ridiculous nonsense to your ridiculous fucking echo-chambered, vagoonerized fuckturds that listen to you. What's next?
about 10 or 11% on average in people doing these low-carb diets.
So, you eat a low-carb diet and your cholesterol goes up. Well, of course it does, because you're consuming more cholesterol in your diet, and that cholesterol needs transporting in your blood to the cells where it's needed to do its work. Were you not eating that cholesterol in your diet, your body would be manufacturing it instead, and that would be doing that inside the cells, thus obfuscating the need to transport it through the blood. But also meaning that you've got less available nutrient and stuff for other purposes as well.
If you take a population of people and you raise the average bad cholesterol